maybe one of the last things I'd like to share with you is it stresses more on the fact that about the heart and the soul. It was about this violinist from Italy. His name is Paganini. I don't know, you might have read the story of this man before, but he was in a performance just like this, with a lot of people in front of him, and he had his violin. It was going to be one performance that he wanted people to never forget. So he got the violin and he started playing. So after he played, lahat ng tao talagang wow, pumapalakpak dahil sa galing ng performance niya. Kaso, he just had this feeling that there was something not right. So he looks at the, I don't know what you call that, the neck of the violin, the whole thing. He looked at it like that and he realized it was not his violin. So he walks backstage and he looks for the violin. And he realizes, and he was told, ninakaw pala yung pinaka-paborito niyang violin. He had several, but the best, his favorite one was gone. It was taken from him. So, pumapalakpak pa rin yung tao, and he was just there looking, and something came upon him at that point in time. And I think it's a perfect description of, I think, what we ought to have as songwriters, who may end up becoming performers, or who may end up having somebody else perform their music. But he came up, and he looked at the audience. He didn't tell them, hindi niya binanggit sa tao na ninakaw yung paborito niyang violin. But what he said was, in many ways, he said, tonight I'm going to show you that music is not really from the instrument that's played. Music is created from the soul. And he played now his best performance ever on a violin that was not his, that he never practiced with, that wasn't perfectly made. Listen, music in itself may never be perfect, but if it is from God, then it is from a perfect God. And it will play its role in somebody's life at some point in time. Maybe not now, maybe later on. You know, stars only get brighter as the night gets darker, so people can see the stars shine. But listen, stars are not only meant to shine, because in the history, as you go back in time and you look at the history of man, as they traveled, as they tried to navigate their ways throughout the world, they looked at the stars also to guide them home. There are many people out there with stories that you will never hear, stories that you can put in your head, but you can never imagine yourself being there. There are countless of other people who are there. I'm not supposed to be on this stage today. After 32 years or 31 years of being a diabetic, it's a miracle that I can stand on a stage like this. Especially when you have the doctors tell your wife and your mom, Mrs. Valenciano, you know that the life expectancy of a type 1 juvenile diabetic like your son or your husband is 30 years from the day of diagnosis. I was diagnosed when I was 14. I'm 46 today, and there are no complications whatsoever. That's a miracle. And that's the reason why I come out on stage and I'm bold when I speak about God, because I'm not supposed to be here. And you songwriters are reflections, are the images, the mirrored images of what many out there are going through. Kagaya ng binanggit ko kahapon, it's the best friend. There was a survey made in Singapore not too long ago. I don't remember the year, but they studied who the best friend of the young people are. It's not someone, it's something. It's music. It's their best friend. We don't see how far the impact of these songs go, but they go far, very far. You light one soul. One soul. That's good enough. It is written in the Word that when one person comes to know the Lord, the angels in heaven are rejoicing. That's not my word, that's His. So as stars who are here, when you write a song, it's not meant just to shine. It's meant to guide people somewhere. And I hope and I pray that somehow it guides them home. Regardless of what the song may say, it will play its part in moving people toward that direction. So here, it's a song called Home, written by Phil-Am by the name of Rex Versosa, and he wrote it for me. And I'd like to sing this song for you. Because I also find myself in moments where I need people just like you to help guide me home.
Bright stars fill the evening sky as I sit and I wonder what I'm missing. I feel so all alone in a crowded room. There's something that my heart's been searching. When the shadows come, there's nowhere to go, and my one last hope, God only knows. In Him I'll find what I've been searching. Now I'm on my way back to a place where I can hear His voice and see His face. And as I'm on my way, I see Him running. Before I take my second step, He sees me coming back, and He comes running to me, and He comes running, and He takes me in His arms, closer to His heart, saying He'll be loving me, 'cause He's never stopped loving me. I don't know why did I ever doubt you and thought I could live without you in me. My fears, they disappear when I close my eyes, just to know your love is with me. When the shadows come, there's nowhere to go, and my one last hope, God only knows. In Him I'll find what I've been searching. Right now I'm on my way back to a place where I can hear His voice and see His face. And as I'm on my way, I see Him running. Before I take my second step, He sees me coming back, and He comes running to me, and He comes running, and He takes me in His arms, and closer to His heart, saying He'll be loving me, 'cause He's never stopped loving me. So I stop and say, forgive me, Lord, for walking out that door. But before I could say anything more, He says, hush. I'm just glad to know that you've come home, back in my arms, where you're safe from harm. I'm so glad to know you're home, where I made you to be, right here with me. Lord, I'm glad to be home, back in your arms, where I'm safe from home. I'm so glad to know I was made to be, having you with me. he sees me coming home.
So participants, you and I both have had so much from all of this. All I can say is thank you, God, and God bless each and every one of you.
Mr. C.
Gary naman sa ano,